Ciao Fabri, we are here for another
Hello
episode of the podcast, and transfer market is starting to getting hot, let's say. There are many things happening and we are getting
Yes.
closer to the beginning.
News coming.
Here we go.
The Here We Go podcast is excited to introduce Skrill, our official sponsor and the payments app for money movers and money makers. With the Skrill app, you can pay online, send money, and buy and sell cryptocurrencies all in a few taps. It's quick, easy, and there is no need to rely on your bank. Depending on where you live, you can get a Skrill card too. The card will be delivered straight to your home address and gives you instant access to your balance in stores, online, or as cash at ATMs. Search for Skrill, spelled Skrill, and download the app today.
Let's start with the Barcelona situation. Yesterday was a difficult game for Barca, and so what's happening with Koeman? Because now there are rumors that he might not be the manager next season. What's happening?
Yeah, the situation is complicated because Juan Laporta and the board of Barcelona always wanted Koeman to stay calm, thinking to the season, not creating any problem when they arrived as new president. When he arrived as new president some weeks ago, so he always wanted to protect Koeman, but they never confirmed that Koeman will be the manager next season. That's why there is now a lot of uncertainty around Ronald Koeman. They will decide at the end of the season. They will meet. They will decide together with Juan Laporta, with the board. But at the moment, the situation is absolutely open for Barcelona job, and let's see what happens. But it's absolutely not confirmed that Koeman will continue next season, and so the situation is open. And let's see what Barca will decide when La Liga will be over.
Yeah, and regardless the manager, Barcelona are already planning, of course, the future of for the next years, for next season in particular. Apart of Messi, there are also other players that they need to discuss, and what that they don't need to discuss, because I know that you've been saying that since I think December or January. I don't even remember. No, actually last year, but
It was December, yes.
yeah. And it's Eric Garcia who will join Barcelona.
Yes, Eric Garcia will be the first signing. Everything is confirmed. Many times we were hearing about a lot of problems, but it's not like this. They just had to complete everything by the official part, but it was signed. The pre-contract was signed since December. So Eric always wanted to join Barcelona. No other clubs were involved in the race like Paris Saint-Germain or Arsenal. No one. He's always been only Barcelona. So Eric will be the first signing. It will be announced at the end of the season. And also we have to mention that for Leo Messi, as for Dembélé and many other players, Barcelona will open talks at the end of the season. So it's the same as Koeman. It will be basically the same also for Leo Messi. They had contacts, and we say last time, and I want to continue to say that Barcelona are absolutely confident to extend the contract of Leo Messi, but it's not done yet, it's not agreed yet. They had just first opening talks, but nothing advanced yet. So let's wait and see what happens. But the first signing will be Eric Garcia.
Yeah, and what about, talking about Aguero, what about him?
Yes, last time we finished the podcast saying, as last news, keep an eye on Kun Aguero, because Barcelona are still in contact with these representatives. They are talking with people around Aguero, and I can confirm that they are talking, that Aguero absolutely wants to join Barcelona. His priority is joining Barca, he's playing with Leo Messi. So Aguero wants to join Barca, and he's also open in case to go with a different salary, with a lower salary at Barcelona. So he's 100% open to talk and to start official negotiation. At the moment are just informal talks. Barcelona are considering him as an option, as Memphis Depay too. Let's see what happens with the manager, because obviously Koeman is a big fan of Memphis Depay, but if Koeman will leave the club, we have to see who's coming and what's happening with Aguero. But for sure, Barcelona are talking with Aguero and are considering him as a serious option, and Aguero is prepared to do everything he can to join Barcelona next season.
That would be super interesting, of course, talking about the future of Barcelona. And there were some rumors yesterday, especially coming from Spain, from France, about Gigi Buffon, because we have to say that Gigi Buffon will leave Juventus at the end of the season. He announced that yesterday on his social media. For the second time, he will leave Juventus. This time, also for his age, will be the last one that he will leave as a player.
Yes.
Juventus this year, and he didn't say that he will retire or not. He didn't decide that yet. He said that he will listen to new offers, possible offers,
Yes.
and what can happen to his future. And there were some rumors about Barcelona, and you already denied that. You want to say something?
Yes, it's not an option, no chance. So Barcelona are not looking for this kind of opportunity. Obviously, Buffon had this kind of experience at Paris Saint-Germain, like being the backup goalkeeper for Keylor Navas. So he had this kind of experience, but he's looking for something different. He wants to play. If he has to continue, he wants to play. If he's not playing, as it was happening at Juventus, because he was the backup goalkeeper, he's going to retire. So he's going to decide, as you said, in some weeks. But at the moment, the situation is no Barcelona, 100%. So he's not going to join Barca.
Okay, we talk about Barcelona. Now we move to the other side of Spain. We go to Madrid, talking about Real Madrid, because there are now a lot of rumors about the future of Zinedine Zidane. What's happening behind the scenes about his future? If he's staying, if he's leaving, he decide yet? What's happening?
Yeah, the situation of Zidane is, I would say, close to the Ronald Koeman one, but different. Because, it's similar to the Ronald Koeman one, but different because in this case it's Zidane to have the power. He will decide. Florentino Perez would be happy to continue with Zinedine Zidane, but if Zidane wants to continue. And at the moment, from Zinedine Zidane, the only answer, not just in public, but also when he's talking with Florentino Perez, is, I want to finish this season. I want to see how it ends with La Liga, and then we decide together and let's see what happens. So Zidane will decide at the end of the season. In 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, we will have the final answer from Zinedine Zidane. Real Madrid are saying, okay, we are prepared with the situation. We would be happy to continue with Zinedine Zidane, but if he wants to leave the club and to try something different, Real Madrid are preparing with other manager. They have a short list with 3 names, and I can guarantee that one of the 3 names for Real Madrid is Massimiliano Allegri, former Juventus manager, AC Milan manager also in the past. He did an amazing work here in Italy, winning Scudetto a lot of times. He's always been a great manager here. Two times in the Champions League final with Juventus, one time against Barcelona and the other one against Real Madrid. So he's an international coach with a lot of opportunities in the last years, also with English clubs, but he was waiting for something interesting for his future. And now Real Madrid could be an opportunity. As I said, it's not a done deal or something like this, but he's one of the names in the list of Real Madrid. So keep an eye on Allegri if Zinedine Zidane will decide to leave the club, and nothing has been completed or communicated yet.
That would be super interesting to see Allegri at Real Madrid, to be honest, because he's, as you said, he's an international manager, and he was waiting a lot for this kind of opportunities, and that will be amazing. And talking about Real Madrid, talking about Sergio Ramos, because Mauricio Pochettino spoke about him in a press conference. I mean, actually didn't really say much, but he didn't close the door, let's put it this way. So what's the situation about Sergio Ramos, and also about Paris Saint-Germain that potentially can buy him next season, of course?
Yes, Pochettino has been honest, like saying, obviously, how you can't like Sergio Ramos is impossible. At the moment, there is still uncertainty around Sergio Ramos, but what I can tell you is like something behind the scenes. In January, at the end of January, there was a contact between Paris Saint-Germain people and Sergio Ramos people. So just like asking what's happening with the contract, obviously appreciating the player, just trying to understand the situation. Then at the moment, there is still nothing agreed or nothing on at the moment with Paris Saint-Germain. But for sure, the only contact he had some months ago was with people around Paris Saint-Germain. Let's see if they will decide to make a bid or not. At the moment, the situation is still quiet, but there was a contact, it was like 5 months ago. So interest, in my opinion, is normal for this kind of player, but let's see what he will decide with Real Madrid, because the contract bid for Real Madrid is still here. He needs to decide. The offer is there, and the contract is an important one, but Sergio wants to decide about his future more than about money. That's it. So Florentino is waiting, as for Zidane, as also for Sergio Ramos.
And another player that his future is uncertain is for sure Lucas Vasquez, and his future is open, and there are already some rumors about AC Milan here in Italy.
There is nothing with AC Milan, so I can say that at the moment there are no chances to see Lucas Vasquez at AC Milan. It's really more than complicated. And he's talking with Real Madrid, so he's open to discuss about his contract. Let's see if he'll extend the contract or not. But they are talking, though there are hopes for Lucas Vasquez to stay at Real Madrid. Let's see what happens in the next days. But Modric is 100% staying, and Lucas is talking with Real Madrid. And what I want to add about Real Madrid, we were talking about Sergio Ramos, but I'm told that, let's see what happens with Varane also, as always said, is a problem. His contract is a big problem because at the moment there is no agreement to extend and only 1 year left on his contract. And Real Madrid, a part of Alaba deal, because Alaba is going to join Real Madrid as a free agent, but a part of Alaba, they are also looking for another centre-back. So they want to sign one more centre-back in the summer if Sergio Ramos or Varane will leave the club. So let's see what happens with Ramos, let's see what happens with Varane, but Real Madrid are talking with people around also for one more centre-back in the summer in case one of the two centre-backs they have right now, Ramos and Varane, will leave the club.
And let's go to Germany now, to Dortmund. And of course, there are always a lot of questions and doubts about the future of the two most important players right now. So Jadon Sancho from one side and Erling Haaland on the other side. Talking about Sancho, Jadon Sancho, what's happening right now about him?
Yes, the situation of Sancho, we're receiving a lot of questions. I want to say thank you because they are bombarding with questions about Jadon Sancho. And so to explicate the situation, 1 year ago, there was Manchester United pushing and one step away from joining Sancho, as you know. And the player was like a bit disappointed because he wanted to join Manchester United and the deal collapsed after 3 months of negotiation. So what I've been told is that he has no problem with his agents. So at the moment, it's not a problem between Sancho and his agent, but he just wants to move for a top, maybe English club. So it's the desire of Jadon Sancho. And that's why Borussia Dortmund say, okay, if an important bid will arrive this summer, we will be prepared to sell Jadon Sancho. What means important bid? It means around 85, 90 million euro, not less than 85, 90 million euro. So that's the price. It's totally different from 120 one year ago. So let's see what happens in the next weeks. At the moment, there are no official bids or no official negotiations yet between English clubs and Borussia Dortmund. But Borussia Dortmund are expecting someone to move in the next weeks because if they want to sign Sancho, they can't arrive the last week of August and try because Borussia Dortmund won't sell players in the last weeks of August. And so now, talking about clubs, I've been told that Liverpool have an interest in Jadon Sancho if they will sell some offensive players, some attacking players. So let's see what happens in the summer. But interest, yes. Official bids, nothing. And official negotiation, nothing. And of course, Manchester United are still interested in Jadon Sancho. So they have an interest. They were really close last summer. They were talking with his agents. And now they are still informed about the situation of Jadon Sancho. But at the moment, they are not negotiating with Borussia Dortmund or with Jadon Sancho agent. It's just like talking, keep informed about the situation. Let's see now what happens in the next weeks if some of these clubs will officially move with Borussia Dortmund because they have been so clear. If you want Sancho, you have to pay and you have to be quick. If you want to take time, you're not getting the player. So interest, yes, but now it's time to open negotiation. And at the moment, there is still nothing official going on.
The position of Borussia Dortmund is quite clear, we have to say. Talking about Sancho, but also talking about Haaland, and that's the one we will talk in a second. They are very, still in their position. So they say that's what we want. If you have it, okay, it's fine. We can talk. Otherwise, we don't even sit down and talk about the player. And talking about Haaland, I know you remember that because when you were talking about the potential clubs that wanted him, you didn't mention Bayern Munich, and
Yes.
now we have an official confirmation from many people from the club. Today, Oliver Kahn spoke actually to Bild and said that there is no way that they can afford him for this summer. So, what are the updates about him?
Yes, about Erling Haaland, as you said, Oliver Kahn confirmed that he's not joining Bayern. So this summer, there is nothing with Bayern. Then next summer, let's see. And when I say next summer, is because from Borussia Dortmund, they have a clear position. They are convinced that Erling Haaland is staying. Now the situation with the Champions League spot seems a bit different after winning against Leipzig, so they are confident. They hope they can be in the Champions League next season. If they will be in the Champions League, they will be prepared to fight to keep Erling Haaland one more season. Let's see what Raiola will do, if he will bring some crazy bids in the summer or not. But it's complicated to pay big money this summer for a single player. So let's see what happens. But at the moment, Borussia Dortmund are saying Haaland is not moving, in particular if they're going in the Champions League. So that's the situation for Haaland, but we have to add that also Vasquez spoke some hours ago. He said again that they are totally relaxed. We say the same for Sancho last summer, and he's still here. So basically it's the same for Haaland. Crazy bids or nothing. At the moment there are no crazy bids.
And as we said many times in the podcast in the last weeks, and this is super important for the player itself to the Champions League spot. So that probably is a game changer, and that can make the difference. But as you said, the position of Borussia Dortmund was always the same, and will be the same probably for the next weeks. And talking about
Champions League is the key. I want to say again, the Champions League is the key. So keep an eye on what happens on the pitch for Borussia Dortmund, because it's really important to see if they will be in the Champions League or not, because Erling Haaland wants to play the Champions League. So if Borussia will be in Champions League, okay, it's different. If not, Mino will fight, I'm sure.
And another very talented player that is from Borussia Dortmund is Jude Bellingham, and fantastic player, and probably he will be even better in the next years. We are seeing just the first beginning of a player that will grow so much in the next years. And there are already rumors of crazy bids about him.
Yes, rumors about top clubs in England, obviously, I would say, because it's not about mentioning clubs, because when you say Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, it's normal to appreciate this kind of player, but they absolutely know that the player is untouchable this summer. So Jude Bellingham is not going anywhere. He's staying at Borussia Dortmund. They want to continue with him. He's happy in Dortmund. He's playing. He's having also great times also in the Champions League. He was amazing against Manchester City. So Bellingham will be a top club player in the future, 100% sure, but not this summer. He's staying at Borussia Dortmund.
And one of the news of this week is that Manchester City are finally champions of Premier League. I'm saying finally because it took so long in the last weeks to make it official, but it was quite sure since a lot of weeks and months probably, and it was a spectacular season for them.
Yes, it was really amazing, and we have to say congrats to Manchester City, because they've been also working for the future, not just for the present, but as always about the future. And with Pep Guardiola extending the contract, with Kevin De Bruyne extending the contract, and really what they are doing also with the City group is something amazing. Imagine that since Ferran Soriano arrived in the club in 2012, they won 4 times the Premier League, 8 domestic cups. They have a Champions League final to play against Chelsea. So they are really doing great things. Of course, money help in football is normal, but not just in football. But they are doing an amazing work with the team, with the market, with the academy, with the scouting, with City Group, with the relationship with Guardiola. Having this kind of board in football, this great relationship between the board, the directors, the manager, the players, is something huge in football, and is something so important. So the atmosphere around Manchester City is really amazing, and everyone in the club know that the work of Ferran Soriano has been something amazing behind the scenes, because obviously we see the team playing, they have amazing players, they have Pep Guardiola, who is, if not the best in the game, for sure one of the best, but what they are doing in the market, and not just in the market, also for the brand of the club and everything, is really fantastic. And so I just want to mention really what they did with Ruben Dias. They were negotiating with Koulibaly for 2 months. Then when they understood that Napoli were not changing their expectation for the 80 million euro, they said, okay, let's go for Ruben Dias. And what a deal has been. So this is maybe the image of what Manchester City are doing.
And what about the contract of Fernandinho? Because you mentioned a few weeks ago that they are thinking about his renewal.
Yes, they are working for Fernandinho's new contract. It's not done our side yet, but they are talking with the agents of Fernandinho to extend the contract for one more season. There are optimistic feelings around, so they hope in the next days to complete everything. But Fernandinho has huge chances to stay in Manchester City, and what a leader also Fernandinho. Yeah. So the agreement seems really imminent. In the next days, everything could be completed.
And as you said, it's Manchester City are a club they are already thinking about the future. They never stop thinking thinking how to improve the club and outside and inside the pitch. And that's why they went for one of the best young prospects of international football in the next 10 years, I would say.
Yes, and this Kaiki, he's always scoring and playing amazing matches in Libertadores with Fluminense, in Brazil with Fluminense in general. He's really incredible. They are really, really happy. Around Manchester City, they are convinced they signed an amazing talent for a crazy price. Remember that they pay around 10 million euro with add-ons, and if you wanted to sign Kaiki today, they signed him like in February and completed some weeks ago, but they had agreement since February. Imagine if you wanted to sign a player today, in my opinion, you had to spend like 40 or 50 million euros. Yeah. So they did something amazing, and Kaiki, remember, will arrive not this summer, but in 2022 when he will be 18.
And I almost forgot there will be a Champions League final in few weeks, and will be Manchester City against Chelsea, of course, that they already played last weekend in the Premier League. But of course, the Champions League final will be another thing. And we have to mention, we always mention Chelsea, of course, but what Tuchel has done in the last 3-4 months is outstanding. I wasn't expecting that at the beginning, and immediately that this first impact in the Premier League and English football. And are Chelsea already thinking about him in a different way or not?
They are absolutely happy with Tuchel, and I would say how not, he did an amazing job. So they are really, really excited to plan with him, to look at the transfers together with Thomas Tuchel, to plan together for the future of some single players. So let's see what happens in the next weeks. But the plan of the club is, let's finish the season, let's play the Champions League final, and then immediately after, we're going to talk directly with Tuchel about his contract. So it's not something advanced yet, but they're going to talk in the next weeks to complete an agreement with Thomas Tuchel, to extend his contract and to have a strong relationship with him, because they are convinced he's perfect for the club. So Thomas Tuchel is staying at Chelsea 100%.
You have any updates about Thiago Silva future?
Yes, just confirm what I'm saying since January. So work in progress to extend his contract is considered just imminent. At the end of the season, Chelsea will be prepared to extend the contract of Thiago Silva for one more season. He has a contract extension clause, so it's just a matter of treasuring the clause, and then everything will be completed, because Thiago wants to stay. Mm-hmm. So he spoke with his family, he wants to stay, he wants to fight in European football for at least one more season, playing the World Cup with Brazil, still playing in Europe. So that's why Thiago is absolutely happy, and Chelsea are happy with Thiago. So they're going to extend the contract in the next weeks if nothing big will change.
Are there other contracts to discuss in the next month, let's say?
Yes, two in particular. There is no rush, just to say, because they have 2 years of contract, but N'Golo Kante and Jorginho will sit with Chelsea. They will discuss together with the negotiation, together with the executive of Chelsea, and to start negotiation about their contracts. I repeat, there is no rush, so there is nothing to be completed like in 1 week or in 2 weeks. It will take time. They will discuss with no problem and no rush. But for sure, Chelsea's intention is to talk with Jorginho and with, obviously, N'Golo Kante, because they are absolutely excited with both midfielders. And they are still waiting for a similar position about Fikayo Tomori, because he's doing something great here in Italy, also scoring his first goal against Juventus. And the feeling is that if AC Milan will be in the Champions League and they are really, really close, they will buy Fikayo Tomori for 28 million euros. The player wants to stay, AC Milan want to buy him, but Champions League spot is key to complete this deal. Chelsea are waiting, but they know that AC Milan are really, really convinced to sign Fikayo Tomori.
After the break, we will talk about United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Neymar, a lot of things.
The Here We Go podcast is partnered with Skrill to bring you exclusive football content for free. Go to skrill.com/herewego to find football stories I've shared only with Skrill. Don't forget to bookmark the page. I will be sharing lots more in the coming months.
So let's talk about Manchester United for a bit. We mentioned about Jadon Sancho, so we won't repeat the same now, but you know the position now of Borussia Dortmund and what we said before. But United announced, and that's something you said before everyone on Monday, so you're quite proud, I think, about this, about Edinson Cavani official renewal with Manchester United for 1 more season. What happened behind the scenes, if you have something to say?
Yes, I'm so happy because Manchester United fans were waiting for this news of Cavani signing the contract, and till the last minute, also from the club, they were like, "Okay, let's wait that he signs the contract because Edinson is a particular guy. He's amazing. He's a fantastic guy, but he's really having a fantastic relationship also with South America. He always had this desire of coming back in South America and of playing in South America. So that's why they were worried about, okay, maybe Eddie could change his mind and ask him to come back in South America or to Boca Juniors, and let's see what happens. Boca Juniors offered him 2 years of contract with the option for a third season at Boca. Important contract, important project. He will be the star of the club. But imagine that in January, Cavani was really, really tempted about Boca Juniors opportunity. So he was, I won't say one step away, but he was really open to talk with Boca Juniors. And then Manchester United changed his mind. Solskjaer, the board, everyone in the club was talking with him. Also some teammates, important teammates in the dressing room talking with Eddie and telling him, you have to stay, you have to play in Old Trafford full with our fans. It's something incredible. So Cavani has been persuaded and he said, yes, let's do it. So they agreed for the contract and it was almost done. So about the salary, it will be the same he had this season. And the contract is extended. So congrats for Manchester United because it's like a new signing having a new Cavani.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And talking about United and former United managers, we talked a lot about Jose Mourinho last week, so we won't say much this time. But of course, with Jose Mourinho coming to Italy and to Roma, there are already starting so many rumors about basically every player that he coached in his career. One of them is De Gea. So there are rumors about him to Roma.
Yes, it's funny because no one knew about Mourinho joining Roma, and me too, to be honest. And so I was waiting to understand what's happening at Roma, and no one knew. And now everyone in Italy is talking about new targets for Mourinho. So it's really, really funny. But fake news about De Gea Roma, there is nothing. So no negotiation, no talks, no contacts between David De Gea people and Roma director Jose Mourinho himself. And also to clarify about Mourinho, there is nothing between Roma and Tottenham for Eric Dyer. So it's a fake news too. And also nothing decided yet about Henrik Mkhitaryan. There are a lot of rumors here from Italian journalists saying that he's decided he will leave the club. It's not true. It's not decided. They had to decide together at the end of the season, talking with Mourinho, but nothing has been decided yet.
And let's move to Arsenal now for a bit. Are they planning the future with Arteta?
Yes, they're planning the future with Arteta. They are planning transfer market with Arteta. So they are still backing the manager and working with him closely to decide about next targets. I say many times they're looking maybe for a centre-back if David Luiz will leave the club. It's not decided yet, but there are huge chances for him to leave. So if David Luiz will leave, they will go for a centre-back. 100% they will sign a new right-back. I was speaking many times about the new right-back, saying that Lamptey is no longer a target and Hakimi is really, really, really difficult. Max Aarons is one of the names in the list, but it's a long list. For Emerson Royal, is not easy because the value of the player is so big, and also it has to be negotiated with Barcelona, yes, but also part of the percentage of the future sale of Emerson will be for Betis. So that's why the deal for Emerson is complicated. So no Lamptey, Emerson complicated, Max Aarons is so appreciated. Let's see what Arsenal will decide, because we know that Max Aarons was also in talks between Norwich and Everton were in talks for Max Aarons, but now it's getting really complicated and other clubs are joining the race.
And what about Smith Rowe? There are updates about him?
Yes, one of the next steps Arsenal work in the next weeks will be also to open talks with Smith Rowe. We mentioned about his contract some months ago in the podcast, saying that Arsenal were planning to offer him a new contract, and now it's time to talk. It's time to start negotiations. So Arsenal are absolutely happy with Smith Rowe and they want to extend his contract to prepare a new contract with Smith Rowe. So they're going to talk in the next days.
And let's move to Liverpool, because it's very recent news, because this morning Virgil van Dijk announced that he won't go to the Euros, and because he wants to focus on the pre-season and next season with Liverpool, recovering from his injury. And we also mentioned it many months ago, I think was after he was injured, about his contract. Yes. And that's something being discussed.
Yes, they are gonna talk in the next weeks with Van Dijk, with his agents. I was saying some months ago that the plan of Liverpool is talking with Fabinho and with Van Dijk during this year. And when I mean year, is not season, is year. So like saying till December, let's see what happens. But they want to talk with Van Dijk. They want to offer him a new contract. They are so happy also with this decision from Van Dijk. Let's say, okay, I'm not going to the Euros, unfortunately for the Netherlands national team, for the Holland national team, but for sure for Liverpool is a good news because Van Dijk will recover and will take his time to be back at top form with Liverpool, and they also will talk about this contract. So everything will go on in the next weeks.
And what about Konate? Is a name that Liverpool fans are asking 24 hours per day.
Yes, just because Liverpool have an agreement reached with Konate. So the contract is Konate, 5 years is ready. Everything is really set to be completed. It's just to see when they will pay the clause to Leipzig or if they want to negotiate a bit around the clause. But the intention of Liverpool is signing Konate and gonna complete this deal in the next weeks. They have the agreement with the player. So the feeling is that Liverpool will complete Konate deal in the next weeks.
Tottenham bench, now it's time to speak about it because it's another topic that will become very hot in the next weeks, days probably also. There are a lot of rumors about Italian managers, don't know why. Gasperini, Inzaghi from Lazio, even Antonio Conte, there are so many rumors.
Yes, Gasperini was honest when he said there is nothing with Tottenham because he never received a call from Tottenham. So at the moment there is absolutely nothing. And obviously, it's important also to have a manager who speaks English, obviously, for Tottenham. So this is also part of the discussions, and it was one of the things to discuss with Ten Hag some weeks ago when they had the meeting. So for Tottenham, it's important to have a manager who has a perfect English. So with Gasperini, at the moment, nothing. With Simone Inzaghi, at the moment, nothing serious or nothing advanced. Let's see what Tottenham will decide. In Sundays, they will make their decision. But at the moment, there is nothing with Gasperini or Simone Inzaghi. And they will have also to decide about Gareth Bale with his agent Jonathan Barnett saying at the end of the season we will talk together, Tottenham, the agents obviously, and Real Madrid. Let's see what Tottenham want to do. They have no clause to extend the agreement with Gareth Bale, but they can talk with Real Madrid because at the moment Real Madrid are not planning to have Gareth Bale in their team for the next season.
And Soumaré to Leicester is something you have been talking about since February, probably. And is that happening or not?
Yes, Wesley Fofana, who is a big friend of Soumaré and he's in Leicester, was playing on Twitter some days ago just saying that he's waiting for Soumaré in Leicester because the agreement is really set to be completed. I saw some reports saying 35 million euro. It's not like this. It's less than 25 million euro. So it would be an amazing deal. You can say, why? How is possible? He's an amazing midfielder. Yes, but he has only 1 year contract left with Lille and he wants to leave the club. So he has an agreement on personal terms with Leicester. He wants to go to Leicester, but also Leicester now are going to complete everything about details with Lille. They are waiting to be 100% qualified to the Champions League to complete everything. And then Soumaré will be going to Leicester in the next weeks.
And we will be back and we will talk about a bit of Paris Saint-Germain, some managers, Pirlo, Juventus, to end this episode.
The Here We Go podcast is excited to introduce Skrill, our official sponsor and the payments app for money movers and money makers. With the Skrill app, you can pay online, send money, and buy and sell cryptocurrencies all in a few taps. It's quick, easy, and there is no need to rely on your bank. Depending on where you live, you can get a Skrill card too. The card will be delivered straight to your home address and gives you instant access to your balance in stores, online, or as cash at ATMs. Search for Skrill, spelled SKRILL, and download the app today.
So last Saturday was the day when they finally announced Neymar that renewed the contract with Paris Saint-Germain. Finally, I
would say yes, because they had an agreement since February. Then they were waiting for the father of Neymar to arrive in Paris and to complete everything. Also, they had like one week or 2 weeks of negotiation only about the huge bonus Neymar will have in case Paris Saint-Germain will win the Champions League in the next 5 years. I say 5 years because it's a 4 years contract with one more season as option. So Neymar is staying. And also, Julian Draxler will 100% extend his contract with Paris Saint-Germain. He also communicated that he's staying, 3 years of contract. Pochettino completely changed his position. So that's why Draxler is happy in Paris. No one was offering what Paris Saint-Germain offered to Draxler as contract, so he's staying.
And what about the situation of Florenzi, who is a player that impressed really well, I have to be honest, this season, probably more than what many people expected. And what's the situation? He will go back to Roma because he's on loan, or they will try to keep him?
They have a buy option for 9 million euro, but at the moment the intention from Paris Saint-Germain is not buying Florenzi and going for a different right back. So that's the situation for Florenzi, and he's coming back to Roma. And let's see if they will sell him. Now with Mourinho, the situation is changing, so they have to decide together about every player, Dzeko, Florenzi, and many others. But my personal feeling is that they have to change something by the budget for the salaries, so they have to change the situation, and Florenzi has a huge salary. That's why Roma will look for some other solution.
And talking about Italy and Italian managers, there are many benches that will change this next season in Serie A. One of them is Sassuolo, because he will leave Sassuolo, Roberto De Zerbi, I'm talking about. And where is he going?
First of all, I want to say that De Zerbi is an amazing manager. So
yeah.
That's why you heard a lot of rumors also in France talking about Lyon and many other clubs, because De Zerbi is really one of the best managers we have in Italy. He's so young, but with great ideas, playing good football, like inspired by Pep Guardiola, like style of football. So he's really, really good. And he's going to join Shakhtar Donetsk. So he's going to Ukraine. He's going to sign 2 years with 2 years of contract, around 2 million euro per season. So the agreement is really imminent for De Zerbi, and he's going to Shakhtar. And talking about managers, also I want to mention Galtier of Lille. He's talking with many clubs. Many clubs are interested in France in particular, but Nice have proposed him an important contract, and he's really, really tempted. So Nice are pushing to have Galtier as new manager.
And what about Andrea Pirlo? That's the question of the questions. What's happening with him at Juventus? He will leave?
To be honest, Juventus are in a really complicated moment. They were losing against AC Milan. They have really big chances to be out of the Champions League next season, and it's really incredible. They have to resolve many problems with Dybala, just 1 year left on his contract and no agreement to extend. With Cristiano Ronaldo, without Champions League, Cristiano maybe will ask to leave the club, because I don't see Cristiano playing in a club without the Champions League. And also, Andrea Pirlo is one of the problems, because the club is having problems and the team is struggling. That's why Pirlo, in the feeling around is, okay, he's going to finish the season with Juventus, but then he will be maybe fired if they can find a good solution with another manager.
And I know you want to give some last updates for this episode, so I leave you the floor and you say whatever you want.
Yes. Let's finish saying, first of all, that Bellerin is going to leave Arsenal, as called some weeks ago, but Hector Bellerin, this time has huge chances to leave Arsenal. Keep an eye on a young talent, Radonjic of Hertha Berlin. He's doing so well, he scored an amazing goal, and he could be one of the players to keep an eye on in the market. And talking about Hertha Berlin, Guendouzi is coming back to Arsenal, and he could be one of the players on the market too. And I'm going to complete with Ryan Bertrand, left back, Southampton. He's not extending his contract, so he will be available as a free agent. Many clubs are interested and talking with his agents, so from Italy, from France, and from England, but something will move in the next days, and he will be one of the players moving as a free agent. Okay,
Fabi, thank you so much for this episode. As you can see, there are a lot of things that start to happen, so it will be a way more dense episode than before, but that's good, because it means that we are going to the transfer market season, so we can wait for that. And see you next week. And finally,
Sancho news is back. Let's do it.
And also Holland news, and Mbappe news, and everyone news basically. So thank you, Fabri. See you next week.
Bye.